Alright, we are ready to go with a short tournament here in Fire Pro World. Each bracket has one pro wrestler and one MMA or pancrase star. So we'll see how these edits work. We'll see if the MMA guys are tougher. We'll see sort of how the power moves of the wrestlers stack up against the submission game of the MMA fighters. I try to choose wrestlers who are fairly tough. Obviously, with over 2,000 wrestlers to choose from, we can do many tournaments. So let's go to Braun Strowman and Volk Han. Volk Han was a Volk Han. I gotta turn the volume off on this other thing here. So Volk Han was a pancrase star, and was kind of a pretty interesting guy. I think he was Russian, and sort of, had some interesting slams and submission maneuvers. This is the second Volk Han that I downloaded, so we'll see how this works out. Cursor off the screen. So immediately, Volk Han goes for a submission. See what Strowman can do here. Of course, Braun Strowman, I guess, now I haven't watched WWF since WrestleMania, but Strowman sort of... volume going on something else here. Strowman known for his power. See how that translates into Fire Pro. So far, he is at a decided disadvantage. It looks like an ankle lock from Volk Han. Some of these edits, I don't know, some of the bigger guys run out of steam really quick. Fighting this under sort of Pride-style rules, so 3 10-minute rounds. If you set the rounds to 10 minutes, usually they don't go that long. One guy will submit. So the question here is, can any of the pro wrestlers... Oh, here's a front-facing chokeslam. And Volk Han shooting in. The ankle lock. There are rope breaks. Power bomb. Oh, that's cool. Into a sort of a wrist lock. And you'll see that a lot in these games. Is that the submission-based guys will actually try to reverse big power moves. This should be a rope break. Maybe not. And Braun Strowman starting to tire. See a ground and pound. There's also kind of a setting here where you've got a lot of different options. Here's a choke maneuver. You have a lot of different options with the MMA style guys. You can get into the guard, and then based on your input, you can either go for a ground and pound, or you can sort of... Oh, here's a... This looks like it should be a rope break. Or you can go for a number of different submission holds. That's another layer of the game. Ankle lock submission. I think Strowman's about to go. Not only is the stamina invisible, but also the spirit. They have this, like, spirit statistic Supposedly that gets low. Oh, front-facing choke slam yet again by Strowman. Couldn't follow up. So Volk looking to finish this off, and there's the signature move. This could be it. Now, what's going to be interesting with Han is that, you know, this is based on, I think, a Fire Pro Wrestling Returns edit that I'm fairly familiar with. So he's got a lot of stamina. I was going to say he wasn't really a striker, but he's got a couple strikes there, and he can go the distance. And just sort of continues to look for that ankle lock submission. And this is going to be a rope break. Now, now the result could be also the edits here. Reason why this is not competitive, although Volk Han is wearing down.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And yeah, there are standing 8 counts. Now this is going to be it. No, he got up. So there's kind of like boxing, where if the ref feels you get knocked down. So it went round 1. I think round 1 goes to Volk Han. But yeah, if the ref thinks that you've taken a big strike or a slam or something like that, he can invoke a count. And that's it. So Volk Han advances in the first match. The cross arm breaker. Taz Conor McGregor. This will be an interesting match. Taz, this is also a Fire Pro Returns edit. Taz is, incredibly tough. He's got the submissions. He's got the sort of pro wrestling moves as well. And then Conor McGregor, I haven't really seen much of this edit. So there's Taz. This is ECW Taz. And here's McGregor. Taz misses the clothesline. Conor tried to lock up. We'll see how devastating the striking is. There's one big elbow to the face. Oh. Suplex. And McGregor missing the kick. So now some ground and pound. No, it's a front choke. Striking is kind of difficult. Oh, Taz, look at that. Reversal on the ground for Taz. Obviously, Taz, size advantage, strength advantage. But McGregor, you can see, went to a side mount, got those knees. One of the cool things about this game is that, if you can get those body blows in, they add up, and you're going to fatigue your opponent faster. Taz, I don't know what sort of suplex that is. That sort of underarm suplex. And now he goes for the... Is that a key lock? Another amazing thing about this game is that, you'll see moves that you've never seen before. And that used to be in the 90s that you would discover moves that the wrestlers, at least in the US, hadn't started using yet. So you would see, like, the Stone Cold Stunner in, 1996, 1995 in some of those Fire Pro games before Stone Cold was using it. Head stomp here, I would say that Taz is in control thus far. He's already hitting some heavy slams. And now he tosses McGregor out of the ring. One of the things we talked about in last night's tournament was that, you know, size matters. If you're a bigger guy, if you have a weight advantage, and you start, oh, as you can see, a shot to the face, this could be it. McGregor gets out of it with some good defense. You could land the big shots, and the ref's going to put a count on him. He's taking a lot of damage. Conor looking to find some way to come back, but he's taken too many slams. I think this is down to a weaker edit. He just wasn't landing a lot of strikes. He didn't show you anything on the ground, and it's like Taz is looking to finish this off and be the first wrestler to move on, which would make for a very interesting matchup. Volk Han versus Taz. And now just Taz toying with him. I think Taz had that sort of rear naked choke. It looks like he's going to use it here. Mazzagatti checking, and that's it. So a very convincing victory by Taz. Next up, Kurt Angle and Bas Rutten. Very interesting matchup. Could you imagine if these guys faced off in the prime of their career? Now, there's two Kurt Angle edits floating around out there now. I believe this is the better of them. It's a wrestling machine Kurt Angle. And Bas Rutten's kind of an interesting character. I've played as him a few times, and he doesn't have a ton of huge strikes, but he kind of, you know, sets up takedowns. He sort of throws you off of your game. And of course, Kurt is going to try to get on him early. Close the distance and start grappling. Now that's what Rutten does have, are those knees. Although those are weak strikes in his arsenal. And, you know, so far it's 1-1. MMA versus pro wrestlers. And you can bet that a guy like Rutten would want to change that with a convincing victory. He's got those judo throws. Kurt, a shot to the face. And again. So Angle, thrown into the ropes, takes the elbow to the heart. And Rutten really hasn't gotten into... He's just, again, trying to do some stand-up and now getting wailed on by Kurt Angle. So, those are the high knees to the face. And takedown by Rutten. Angle gets right up. So, Angle has the defense on the ground to make this competitive, and just a battle of European uppercuts. And wins that. Kind of a code breaker move by Rutten. Of course, Rutten's background, you know, he was one of the top guys in Pancrase. Can go the shots to the back of the head now. These guys are really, this is a fight. And it's kind of interesting to see the logic. Belly-to-back suplex by Angle. Sort of the logic built into Angle. You know, he's in an MMA fight, and he is striking a little bit more than in a pro wrestling match. And you can see a series of kicks. Good combination there by Rutten, but he is struggling there a little bit. So, big shots now by Angle. And this is a fight. And Rutten, look at that move. Sort of tied up his arms and delivered the brainbuster. Angle, shaky. And that was maybe the first really big move power move of the match. And an ankle lock on Angle. Of course, both these guys have devastating ankle locks. Angle not near... Well, he broke it. Not near enough to the ropes. Oh, big shot to the gut now by Kurt Angle. Trying to get a breather. Oh, on the crescent kick. But now Rutten can't follow up. There's that signature brainbuster. And belly-to-belly takedown. So, it seems like Rutten, this character here, is built nicely throughout the match. Sort of that nice smooth progression, and there's the strikes. Seems a little low on stamina, but Angle, belly to back again.
1, 2, 3, 4.
And there's the Angle slam. Now, Lanzagotti's going to put the count on Rutten, who looks a little shaky.
5.
Is this it? The Angle slam finisher? No, gets up at 6. And the SWA style, you know, while the other guy is trying to recover, you can breathe. So now Angle firmly in the driver's seat, but couldn't get the tap. And some nice striking by Rutten. We're going to have another Angle slam again. And Angle now, winded. Shot to the back as he's setting up for a clothesline. That's it. So 2-1 pro wrestlers. Very, very interesting here. Didn't make it out of the first round. So let's drop back to the final bracket, Kawada versus Ken Shamrock. Really interesting match. You know, I don't know if this match has actually happened. At some point in history, there's Kawada. Kawada, a good character. This is the Kawada, I think, from Fire Pro Return, so really solid edit. And we haven't seen much from this Ken Shamrock. There's another Ken Shamrock floating around. I think this might be the WWE Shamrock. I'm not sure. Maybe one's more MMA centered. And we'll have to test that one out. Big shot there by Kawada. Kawada, of course, has the strikes and some devastating slams. If I remember correctly, this one is a special move, has that Gonzo bomb that he put on, was it Kobashi or was it Misawa back, I think, in that Tokyo Dome match in '99. Again, if this is the edit from Fire Pro that I'm thinking about, from Returns I'm thinking about, there were a couple. I believe this is the right one. Shamrock. Those strikes. And body slam here. Oh, big. Those Kawada short kicks to the head, and Shamrock comes right back to the body. And early in a Fire Pro style match, those slams are even more about position than trying to, you know, beat an opponent. Now here we have those hard kicks. And as we talked about in last night's stream, you know, those kicks to the body are some of the most effective moves in the game. Shot there by Shamrock, blocking a big move attempt by Kawada. So this is pretty evenly matched. And there's the first submission attempt by Shamrock. Kawada going to the knee. Big suplex by Shamrock and driving a knee into Kawada's shoulder. So the strikes here coming, and Kawada now. Big block maneuver. And the ankle lock again. Kawada kicking out. Oh, and there's that arm wringer into the crescent kick. Shamrock coming right back up and going right back to the ankle. There's that toughness of Kawada to get out of that, and a little sort of wobbly legs, and Kawada's looking, there it is, big power bomb. Kawada tired, can't follow up. Shamrock now whips him into the ropes. Shamrock tired, and just sort of plants it center of the ring. And oh, big shot by Kawada, knockout punch into the armbar. And Shamrock gets out of it. So based on what we've seen here, this is probably the more pro wrestling edit of Shamrock. And both guys wobbly and tired. Nice arm drag takedown by Shamrock. And the Kawada kicks. He's going for the pin. You can win a Pride-style rules match with a pin in Fire Pro. Oh, charging elbow. And we have a viewer asking a question. Zeke asks, are there any knockoffs of real wrestlers? You know, these are edits of the people made of real wrestlers, so that, you know, these guys are real. But the wrestlers that come preloaded in the game are knockoffs, or they have various inspirations. There's a brainbuster by Kawada. A trip takedown, and Shamrock just trying to gather his breath. Both guys are about to pass out. They've got about a minute to go in the rounds. Some stamina resets. Not a lot, though. The damage that they have taken will carry over. Oh, huge brainbuster by Kawada. He's not going to be able to initiate the pin there with the rope break. He's going for it again. Blocked by Shamrock. And, yeah, Shamrock's got him away from the ropes. And Kawada survives. He's got about 2 seconds left, and that is round one. Fairly even rounds. So, Kawada starting off with that crescent kick. Both guys are tired. He's going to go for the shot to the face. Shamrock bounces up with the second wind. And clothesline. And referee Steve Manzagatti is going to put the count on Shamrock. Shamrock missing with the shot there. Blocks the slam attempt. And Kawada now going for the power bomb. Oh, huge kick to the head. Signature move by Kawada. But they're in a position where it's going to be hard to get a pin. Of course, it's up to the referee's discretion as to when to put the count on someone. Now Manzagatti is going to put the count on Shamrock again. So Kawada pulling away here. He has not had any counts thus far. So if you're scoring it, something to take into account. Although in the SWA rules match, there has to be a result, otherwise it's a draw. And there's the pin. So Kawada with the knockout punch. You could see it coming as Kawada took control in round two. So it's kind of an interesting result. As we look at the bracket, only one MMA fighter made it through. So the question is that down to the state of the edits, or is that a reflection on the athletes? We'll see. But Volk Han versus Taz. Interesting matchup. Taz, of course, with the more dynamic moveset. Volk Han, built to go the distance, and has some devastating submissions. So, Volk starts off with some shots to the stomach. One of the questions that we got in last night's stream was that, you know, does the fatigue build across a tournament? I don't think it does. I think you're starting from scratch, more or less. So, these guys are feeling each other out. Volk misses that strike. And now blocking Taz's big move attempt. Fireman's carry takedown. Both guys miss a big strike. Volk tries to shoot in, misses, and takes a suplex for his troubles. So as these edits kind of go through the ringer here, as we kind of figure out, you know, which ones are the most complete, which fighters are the most dangerous, you know, winning a tournament like this goes a long way into figuring that out. And Volk, taking that reverse choke into with the elbow smash. A big open-handed strike. Now, if you followed Volk and Pancrase, you know, those shots meant something. You know, they weren't just little slaps. And there's that signature shooting in for the ankle. Han breathing a little bit. And nice escape by Taz. It's like Volk was trying to go for the choke, and another sort of modified ankle breaker, digging the heels into Taz's pelvis. And that's a move that we haven't seen, and look at this. So Volk Han now, and you can see kind of the difference from match to match. We just saw two moves that he did not use in the first round. And he's scoring with these, and he's doing damage. And look at that, rolling into the ankle breaker. So working the lower body. An interesting strategy. Take Taz's legs away. And looking for the front choke. A takedown. Now he just tries to get his breath. Those weak moves, they're used for position in the opening minutes of a fight. And now they... Oh, and again, that sort of inverted STF. Did not get the submission. But then as the matches go on in a Fire Pro game, you know, you use those to just buy yourself some recovery time. And give it to Taz here. He's withstanding some pretty devastating submission moves in the center of the ring, but he is about to go and gets the escape there. So there's a ankle lock from the inside. And Volk Han relentlessly pursuing that ankle lock. And he gets the submission, so he moves on. So he is in to the final, and now it's Kurt Angle and Kawada. Another dream matchup. So Kurt Angle in the first match kind of showed us that in a fight, you know, he did have some punches, he did have some striking, and Kawada won that first round match with just a straight shot to the face. Kawada was added to the tournament because, again, great edit and very tough competitor. Now, Angle hits belly-to-back suplex. It's a sort of medium-strong move right at the beginning. And the question here is, you know, which guy has the more devastating slams? And now Angle reverses the suplex attempt. Big chop by Kawada. Angle belly to back. Now this is also interesting because it's wrestler versus wrestler. So we noticed in the first match that Angle, he was in there, with an MMA star, so he went with strikes. And now he's opening up and kind of using those slams a little bit more here. And brainbuster by Kawada, but Angle up first. Angle, of course, will have the stamina advantage. Might have the strength advantage. Kawada going for another power bomb, and he hits it now into the pin. But rope break, and Angle's just faster. And that's going to be very interesting if he moves on against Volk Han. He's going to be faster than Volk. Oh, and look at that, a Hurricane Rana reversal. Now that's a move that I don't recall Angle actually having. Kind of interesting there. And big clothesline by Kawada into that reverse chokehold. Similar to the Scorpion Deathlock, although seated. Or the Scorpion Death Choke, whatever that Sting choke was. And now, suplex out of the ring. So the deficit is building for Kawada. And he has not gone for some big kicks. Oh, reverse brainbuster. And for the cross armbar. Cannot get the submission. It's a little bit early for a submission. A guy like Angle, you got to wear him down a little bit. Chop and Angle with the European uppercuts. Kawada with the shots to the gut, and Angle wins that. You can see him moving Kawada back, and Kawada's going to get a count here. So very interesting that only 5 minutes in, Kawada's taken that much damage. And now Angle's starting to fatigue. This could be an opportunity. Angle going for relatively early win, and now Kawada just tosses him out of the ring, and that is a key strategy, especially if you're a bigger guy, if you're winded. Throw the guy outside, try to get a breath, and then, of course, the Kawada kicking here. Those add up. So Angle playing to the crowd. And, bridge suplex. And Kawada getting out at the last second. Angle, look at this. Dragon suplex and another count. So Kawada about to exit here. Angle tossing him back. And here's the ankle lock. Is this it? Very hard to get Kawada on submissions. You really have to work them. And big clothesline. Kawada coming back. The body blow, but takes the suplex again. See what happens here. Kawada. And goes into the power bomb, putting all of his weight on Angle. Can Angle kick out? Yes, he does. And with authority on two. That is a signature move for Kawada. Angle in trouble again and taking a lot of those power bombs. Can he kick out at two again here? Yes, he can. And look at the relentless aggression by Kawada. Count of two. And Angle again kicking out. What a match. And there's the knockout blow. And Angle struggling to get to his feet. He is saved by the bell. So a round that, we would give to Kurt Angle. But Toshiaki Kawada coming back late and doing some damage. And those are some of the most devastating strikes in the game. And now the rolling kick to the back of the head. But Kawada winded. We'll see what Angle can do here. Just trying to position him. And Kawada blocking that move attempt. Here's the kick to the head. Oh! Angle coming right back up. Angle's will to win this match is incredible. And there's that standing single leg kick to the side of the head. But Angle right back up. And now he's got ankle lock. That's a rope break. Seemed pretty far. The rope break. And another rope break. So very interesting matchup here. Angle signals that it's about over. We have not seen the Angle slam. Now all of these suplexes are doing damage, but there's the Angle slam. And the count put on Kawada, gets to his knees. This is going to be close. Kawada trying to catch his breath, trying to get his legs, and he makes it at 8. Back body drop. And Kawada, that reverse chokehold. Angle could be in trouble here, trying to get to the ropes. And Angle gets out of it. And that short punch. Oh. A driving clothesline. That is a move we have not seen. Angle now in trouble. He's up at 7. Shot to the stomach. Those body blows taking their toll. Kawada's going to go for the pin. He thinks he has Angle hurt. With that body blow, no. And Kawada, powerbomb again. And this time Mazzagatti interferes, doesn't let him put the weight on Angle, just gives him the count. Boy, what a back and forth matchup this is. Oh, and Kawada winning it. That was the match of the tournament. And now we are at the final. It is Kawada versus Volk Han. Incredibly interesting. We have a wrestler versus an MMA fighter in the final, but Volk Han was the only MMA fighter to advance. So I think coming in we thought, oh, the MMA guys would surely have the advantage. Not the case here. Again, this is about feeling out the edits. Not so much a reflection on the actual historical athlete. The edits have to get a little bit better before we get to that level of simulation. So Kawada survived. And we'll see what happens here with a very, very dangerous Volk Han. Now, if you're watching and you don't know who Volk Han is, it's worth looking him up on YouTube. Very, very skilled fighter in Pancrase. And had a lot of appearances in Fire Pro over the years, and rightfully so. And you can see the logic of the character. He's going right after Kawada's legs. What you did in the first match, did a little bit against Taz. But Volk's always going to look for that submission. And much like his real-life counterpart, use the strikes to set up those submissions, and the slams for that matter. Body blow by Han. You would have to say he has the advantage. Kawada, though, with a valiant comeback. As soon as he starts landing those kicks to the body, oh, here's a takedown. And Kawada now, the choke attempt. So showing that he can have some offense from the guard. There's working on the other leg now. So, interesting rolling ankle lock. Volk Han's going to pose some problems for a lot of these edits and in future tournaments. This character has looked very good. And Kawada has not really been able to mount much of an offense. And there's one kick. And Kawada now delivering those kicks, but Han with those forearm blows knocking Kawada back. And we've seen about 5 different variations of the ankle lock from Volk Han. And You're seeing Kawada starting to tire. And that's a bad sign against a submission wrestler. Kawada gets out of that with what looked like a low blow. And combination striking. And Kawada could still power out of that one. And a crossface. Can Kawada survive? He does. But very tired, and this one might end before the 8-minute mark. Volk Han, such a tactician. Shot to the gut, and now look at this. Sort of a armbar choke in the perfect position. He just couldn't maintain it. And Kawada bicycle kick to buy himself some time, but he is hurting. And into the armbar. Close enough for a break? No. Hey, Jeremy. Welcome to the finals of this 8-man tournament. Pro wrestlers versus MMA fighters. Had some good matches. And it's interesting that we still have not seen a lot of big offense from Kawada. So I said this is going to be over in 8 minutes. Got 30 seconds to see if I'm right or wrong. And this is almost non-competitive, and there's that reverse STF near the center of the ring. So Kawada survived past 8 minutes and just gets out of it. On Fire Pro, those submissions, you can't hang on to them forever, and that is it. So Volk Han, the winner of this tournament. So an MMA fighter won, and he was the only MMA fighter to win a match. So there you go. Volk Han is the winner. And time permitting, we'll be back later tonight with another tournament in Fire Pro Wrestling World. Yeah, Jeremy, I'm going to end it right here. Just kind of an experimental stream. See how it looked here on YouTube. But there are 2,000 wrestlers here in Fire Pro, and so you will see me back actually later tonight with another stream.